Manjot at thewaytoindie.com. Today talking with Jordan, who's a musician from Vancouver, Canada. We're going to talk to him a bit about his music, about himself, and get to know him a little bit better. So without further ado, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Awesome. Could you go ahead and give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself, who you are, where you're from, stuff like that?
Sure. My name is Jordan Klassen. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, and I make folk, pop, whimsical music.
Sweet. Awesome. So a mix of genres right there. Um,
Yeah.
Where did you get your start in music? Was it something you did growing up, or like where does that your musical come from?
Um, I was raised in a pretty creative family. At least my mother was a musician and is a visual artist now and a potter. So I've always kind of um, when I guess the times when I'm thriving, I'm making something, and I think just at some point the pendulum swung to music, and it kind of stuck. So I think I've been writing and recording since for like the last 12 years.
Sweet. So,
Yeah.
like you said, you started when you were about 12 years ago. Where did the inspiration come from? And I know you said you've come from a creative family and everything, but where, for you personally, where did that inspiration to, write your first song or get that first thing out there?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I think when you're kind of inclined to write and to create, um, I, I guess, just like everyday life would be inspirational friends and faith and other art. So I guess when I first started, it was just kind of the glee of kind of being able to arrange songs and make music that I guess at the beginning you kind of spend a lot of time imitating other people that you like. Um, but then it kind of moved into the idea of making something fresh and trying to like push boundaries or at least my own creative boundaries. And so yeah, I find that inspiring. I find that inspiring to make something that is brand new that's never been made before.
Cool. We definitely hear that in your sample that you release on Noise Trade. You can definitely hear that it's got a unique sound to it. So you're it's got a great sound. So, um,
Thanks.
speaking of that, your new LP Repentance comes out soon, I believe. So within the next.
It came out at the end of September.
Oh, it did. There we go.
Yes.
So it did come out. So what was the inspiration for that, and what was it like going through the process of making that? Because your previous EP that came out was it was a slower one. There was one that wasn't all that there, but this one is something. It's your sophomore release, correct? That you're coming out with your second release.
Kinda, yeah.
Kind of.
I kind of actually I released two records independently before those two. So this is actually my fourth album, but these are kind of the releases where I've been doing this full time and kind of have a team behind it. So in some ways it's kind of my sophomore release.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I, yeah, sorry.
go ahead. It was just the process of making it. What was that like for this
Yeah.
album?
I think uh for me it was a lot about kind of delving into the idea of just kind of what it means to be in your 20s and like making sense of um, what you are and what you believe. And um, I think it's like, I don't know, it's not hard for everybody, but for me, it's been really my 20s have been difficult and just kind of um, figuring out who I am philosophically, and like kind of facing fears, facing, looking at things that maybe are scary to look at, looking at ideas that are scary to look at, and also just um, what how am I showing love to other people, to my family? Am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Those kind of questions. So um, I think in some ways the record is kind of about depression and um, kind of facing depression and hoping that it goes away. Um, yeah, I guess that's the best. I mean, traditionally the word repentance, or in kind of the religious imagery of it, is the idea of turning away from something ugly and turning towards something beautiful. And so that's kind of what I think the record is about, is just looking for beauty and being honest about um, the ugly, but looking for the beautiful, I guess.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of message that you want to get across with this album? That whole turning away from the ugly, going to the beautiful, and looking for that. The search for that. Is that what the message was for this album?
Yeah, I'm kind of. I mean, I think I don't know if it has a message as much as just kind of a, like a an expression. I guess I'm trying to communicate. I guess I'm trying to communicate hope. Yeah, for sure. But that's not. I mean, I think I think everybody is looking for hope, so that's not that out of the box. Um, yeah, so I guess I'm just wanting to be honest, wanting to give like an honest account about at least my experience of figuring out what who I am and kind of what I believe in and the kind of the darkness that accompanies that.
Cool. Okay. And you just finished up doing a small tour, correct? What was that like?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty big tour. It was New York and back. So, and I'm on the West Coast, so coast to coast. It was good. It was, um, it's tour life is difficult. It's not like an easy way to live. It's not an easy lifestyle. Um, so there are definitely some hard lows where everyone hates each other and everyone is tired and not eating well, and um, people just want to be home. And yeah. But then there are also the times when you're like, man, I'm traveling around doing what I love, you know, seeing um, amazing things, seeing great cities, drinking great coffee, um, and yeah, then so there's those moments too. So I'd call it like a very dramatic time. It's lots of high highs and low lows, but in the end, it's something that I always look back on with in like kindly. I like it, I think.
Cool. And where do you see your music going from here? What's the plans for the future coming up?
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I see a lot more touring. I see a lot more touring in the States. Um, Canada is actually a place we spent a lot of time touring the last few years, and America is brand new to us. So I'd like to tour more in the States. I'd like to spend some time in Europe, um, and I'd also like to start, thinking about a new album. I know that's kind of classic musician to like always be thinking about the next thing, but we actually won a bunch of money in Vancouver
Hmm.
last year, so I have some money to put aside for the next record. So I'm starting to think about that a lot too.
Awesome. We can't wait to hear it. And we definitely hope that you come to Houston. At least I hope that you come to Houston on your next tour. So keep that in
Me
mind.
too. Me
Awesome.
too.
So before we wrap up here, what's one interesting thing that people don't know about you?
One interesting thing. Um, well, I okay. I was in a Broadway musical when I was in the seventh grade. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat
Hmm.
in Vancouver. Um, that's, I guess, kind of interesting. I was in the kids' choir. That was the late '90s, and then also to kind of add to the Broadway track, I was asked to audition for Spider-Man the musical this last summer, in New York,
Wow.
which was very very odd and terrifying. But I flew out and didn't get it, but gave it my best shot. So,
Awesome. That's
yeah.
quite interesting, actually. So anything to say before we wrap up here and finish off?
No, I mean just thank you for the opportunity to talk to some Americans. We're really not all that much different, um, and I look forward to spending more time in your beautiful country.
Awesome. Well, we definitely hope you'll come visit us, and then we'll come visit you sometime as well.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Vancouver's beautiful.
I, yeah. We'll go. I think
Okay,
that anything to
cool.
get us out of the, especially anything to get me out of the Houston heat is perfect. So